So it's been a week since WWDC, and it's also been a week of me running the beta version of Siri AI on my iPhone, my Mac and my iPad. So in this video, I want to show you exactly what Apple did not show you during the keynote, and also how Siri AI actually feels when you use it in your real life. Now, some moments were really shocking, but a quick disclaimer though, this is a beta version, so do not install it on your device and wait for the public version that is coming later this year. So that's why I'm here to take the hit for you. So watch first and buy smart. Now, before we get into this, let me clear up one major confusion that people think about Siri AI. Because for the people who are saying that Siri AI is just Gemini AI, well, they are wrong. Now, Siri AI is not a Siri update. It's a brand new architecture, new AI models, and is built in a deep collaboration using Google, specifically using Gemini's technology as the foundation. So it's a combination of Gemini's technology and Apple's foundation model. So it's not Gemini AI, it's Apple's own models running on your device and processed privately. And one of the biggest things that Apple introduced alongside Siri AI is the dedicated Siri app. Now you can think of this as a conversation hub where all of the chat that you had with Siri are stored privately and synced across your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad via iCloud. Now this means is that you can start chatting with Siri on your iPhone and then pick up where you left off on your Mac and wrap it up on your iPad. So that is exactly what I'll show you how that feels using all three devices hand in hand. Now let's start with the iPhone. The way to access Siri AI on the iPhone are still familiar. You can say, "Hey Siri." Oops, did I trigger? Cancel? Sorry to trigger your Siri. Or you can also press and hold the side or the power button. But now what's new is that you can also swipe from the dynamic island as well to activate the new Siri AI. Now I'm sure you might be asking, but Adam, what happens to my notification menu then? Well, that is still there when you swipe from the top left, and swiping on the right you'll get the control center. But that's not it, because there's a fourth way to get Siri, which is a dedicated Siri app as mentioned earlier, and more on the app later on in this video. Now let me first show you what Siri AI can actually do. First is something simple, like I asked Siri, when is Germany's next World Cup match? And instead of just giving me one-liner answer like it was before, Siri actually pulled in the information, the fixture, the date, the kickoff time, and even the group information as well. Then I said, remind me 2 hours before kickoff, and it sends the reminder on the Reminders app. So that is done. No app switching, no opening calendar or Safari or researching. But how about we take it up to the next level by adding a friend to a watch party? So you can say something like, I'm planning to organize a watch party, please send an invite to Michael Josh, and that is done. So yes, that chaining of requests back to back is where Siri AI starts to feel more different than anything that we ever had before. Now let me show you the personal context. Now this is where things get really interesting. So let's say if I type, can you tell me when Michael Josh and I had fish and chips? And it went through my messages and told me the exact date. So instead of me rummaging the entire messages myself to look through the whole entire conversation. So that was super cool. Then another great context is that when I was planning to send a message to my friend Carl Conrad, who is also a fellow YouTuber, to ask about how his daughter is, and I remember him telling me what his daughter's name was, but me being me, I totally forgot. So I asked Siri AI, can you tell me what's Carl Conrad's daughter's name please? And yes, again it went through my messages and told me right away. Then another context is, for example, if you see a picture of someone online and you wonder who it is, and here's where Siri AI will recognize what's on the screen and you can ask, who the hell is this fella? And yes, the results will come out to tell you who the fella is, with further information if you swipe down further. Then another way is to get the best of your useful context on your screen is that if you have a long email which is super long-winded, like from my sales teammate Amy, which is based on what picnic items to bring, because there's a picnic campaign that is happening. So I just have to call out Siri AI and say create a picnic packing list based on the email, and you will create the packing list based on that. Next, let's look at photos, because just recently I went for a birthday trip with my family in Penang and I wanted to see the exact photos when I was there. So I just asked Siri AI, show me pictures of me when I was in Penang, and Siri went through my photos library and found the right ones and only showed the exact photos when I was in Penang with the family nothing else. But let me show you one more thing that iPhone can do before we move on. Visual intelligence is through the camera app, where there is a dedicated Siri menu within there, and what I did is to point at a cup of hot latte, and I didn't even give it a context that it was a latte as well. I just pointed the camera at it and asked Siri how many calories it was, and it immediately knew it was a latte and gave me the whole breakdown, including the type of milk and the calories based on that. Now, Apple Cash is not available outside of the US, but here's how you can use Siri's camera feature for it. After taking a photo of the receipt, just let Siri AI know that you want to split the bill between 3 people and mention their names, for example Priscilla, Vernon and I. Next, just let Siri know who ate what, and Siri will calculate what each needs to pay with tax included. So yes, it's not as straightforward compared to Apple Cash. So that is the workaround, and that is the overall iPhone experience, and there's more. And to be honest, I felt that the response was even faster than the demonstration done on the keynote, hence why I think that it will only improve even further once the public version is out. Then before we go into the Mac, here's how the dedicated Siri app looks like on the iPhone, and you can easily go through the previous conversation with Siri and ask Siri based on that exact topic. Now, if you want me to do a video on what Image Playground can do, like putting on a clown face on somebody or everything else that it can do as well, and also show you what the 3 new Photos app can do, like the improved cleanup, the extend and the spatial reframe, do let me know in the comment section below and I'll do one for you. Now, let's move on to the Mac. Now, to activate Siri on the Mac, just use Spotlight, and how it works is super easy because as you type on Spotlight, once it recognizes that it's a question, it will immediately know that it's an Ask Siri query. So for example, if you ask when is the next Germany World Cup match, the results will be the same as the iPhone, so I won't go through the same commands as earlier. But since this is a Mac, you can actually drag the conversation window anywhere on your screen and resize it however you want. But what made Siri AI on the Mac very different is this, and this is where it totally shocked me. So I had 3 different quotations on my downloads folder. 3 vendors for a portable sound system which I needed for hosting an event, and all formatted differently. So it was almost impossible, or just impossible, to compare it at a quick glance when it comes to value, other than the price of course, since each of the code has totally different items. So what I did is that I selected all 3 of the quotations, control clicked, and a new Siri field appeared right there. And then I clicked Ask Siri, and then I typed compare this and tell me which has the best value for money. And then Siri read all of the 3 documents, built me a comparison table, and broke down each of the code included and gave me the key advantages of the chosen vendor. So yes, Darth Vader Sendirian Berhad is the best value. And remember that these files that you see is all on your Mac, so it happens on device as well. So this whole entire feature alone has saved me about 30 minutes of back and forth. But then I also added another layer by asking Siri which vendors handles installation too, and he gave me the answer as well. So what I did is to actually ask Siri to draft an email to the vendor I chose, explaining why I picked them and also telling them to expedite the delivery. Then what Siri did was to pull out the vendor's name from the code itself, wrote the email based on the code, and open up mail just with one command. Everything was done. Then another super cool thing about the Mac is that you can use visual intelligence too. Just hold a Shift plus Command plus 6 and select something to ask Siri. So this will come in handy for a situation where you get a contract from some brand or organization where you cannot understand the lawyer language most of the time, right? So visual intelligence would make your life easier. So just say in the contract, I want to select clause 4.3 about exclusivity. So for this case, is an example of a gym membership sponsorship deal. So I just key in Shift Command 6, select Ask Siri, and I type in plain English, what does this actually stop me from doing and for how long? Then Siri broke it down straight away with important key details, and as usual, you can always ask follow-up questions as well accordingly too. Then of course the Siri app is also here on the Mac, and I opened it, and the Germany watch party conversation that I started on my iPhone earlier, and all of the previous conversations were right there. So this is where you can go to any of the conversations and continue on if you want to. Super cool, right? Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far, do give this video a nice big thumbs up to tell the people running the YouTube algorithm that this video is good for you, and a subscription will be extra sweet too. So thank you, and thank you very much in advance. Now, the iPad. So iPad gets the same rich conversational style as the Siri AI experience is similar as the iPhone and also the Mac. And the reason why I left this for last is because I love how this has the best Siri AI experience, more like a combo of the iPhone and also the Mac. Now, first of all, how you activate Siri AI was brilliant from a design and a UI point of view. Just swipe from the middle of the screen and you have a nice Siri bubble animation, and you can drag it around on top and swipe down to activate. Then the Siri app is here too, with sizable windows and different windowing options by pressing and holding the top left of the app, just like how iPad OS has always been. So I can just continue any conversations from where I left off on the iPhone and also the Mac. And all of it is still there, as you can see, like Carl Conrad's daughter's name, the vendor comparison, every conversation fully synced privately, and as mentioned, I can just continue from the iPad. But the iPad has one trick that I feel not a lot of people are mentioning about, where visual intelligence is built directly into the screenshot experience here. So if I screenshot a product spec, for example, the Apple Vision Pro's product specification, you can ask Siri about it directly from the screenshot by selecting Ask. Once the screenshot is taken, then you can ask something like how good is the tracking, and you'll get the answer right there. No copy and pasting, no app switching, just tap Ask, done. And the writing tools are also fully here on the iPad too, and I drafted a caption for an upcoming reel right inside of the Siri app. Describe what I needed and Siri gave me the first draft. So no need to go and ask any other LLMs to draft your caption anymore, because remember, all of this works on device, where even Apple does not have access to your data. Now, if you want a written version of everything mentioned in this video, we do have one at our website at www.adamlobo.tv. Links to the website will be down below, where we also have some daily tech tips and daily tech news over there too. So that is Siri AI across all of the devices except for the Apple Watch. So as soon as that is out, I will download it. So please do not download it yet, as you should only download the public version when it's out, so do not risk anything on your device. So that's why I am here for. So I hope you find this video helpful to tell you what exactly you can expect from Siri AI. So when the public version is out, you should stop treating Siri like a one-question tool and start treating Siri like an actual working partner. Now, since this is still in beta, I'm sure there'll be more use cases in the future. So yes, I can't wait for you to try it out.